All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, I'm back again. Okay. I just had to, man. I just actually just saw this article here. Okay, very, very interesting. As to what's going on in Iraq. All right. Funny how you got the same thing or a similar thing happening in Ecuador. Okay. So I'm gonna read this real quick, man. It says, Iraqi police fire on protesters in new unrest. Death toll passes 100. Okay, so now it could be more, could be less. We don't know. Okay, but the point is, hey, look, man, you should be questioning in your mind. Whoa, 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 what's going on? Okay, what's going on right now as to why these things are happening? Okay, what's going on? Why are these things happening in the world? You know, all of a sudden now you got so many uproars, civil unrest here, civil unrest there, and you think that's gonna stop there, man? It's coming to America. But see, when it hits America, it's gonna be much worse. That's why these other places are getting hit first. But this is all prophecy, man. We're in the last days. We are in the last seconds of the last days, man. Okay. So I'm gonna read this real quick. It says at least 8 people were killed in new clashes between Iraqi security forces. Slovakia. At least 8 people were killed in new clashes between Iraqi security forces and anti-government protesters on Sunday, which is today. It says the sixth day of unrest in which the death toll has now passed 100 and more than 6,000 have been wounded. So this is some serious stuff, man. You had the yellow vest protest going on in France, okay? But in Iraq, man, because in the east, man, that spirit, when they protest, they go in, and you can see it's getting out of hand. So what's gonna start happening? They're gonna start declaring martial law in these places, man. Okay, it says that the 8 were killed in eastern Baghdad. Police sources said, after police backed by the armed forces used live rounds. Cause like what's going on in Hong Kong, they're using rubber bullets, they're using tear gas and all these different things. But when it gets to a certain level, all right, where their lives are being threatened and they're in danger, they revert, okay, to any means necessary. So meaning actual bullets. The demonstrators had taken to the streets hours after the government announced reforms trying to ease anger over corruption and unemployment. The unrest, you see? Now, why are they protesting? Corruption and unemployment. It's always a civil issue. All right. So, how much worse do you think it's going to get when this American economy collapses, which then takes the global economy with it? The world is going to be, for a period of time, the world is going to be in a state of chaos, man, a state of turmoil, because the system keeping things in place is going to be down. Okay, it's going to have collapsed. Okay, so be prepared for that. The unrest is the biggest security and political challenge for Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi's government since it took power a year ago. The clashes have revived fears of new spiral of violence that could suck in influential militia groups and be exploited by Islamic State. Before the latest clashes in the Sadar city residential district of the capital, an interior ministry spokesman said 104 people had been killed, including 8 members of the security forces in the unrest since Tuesday. He said 6,100 now, and then on top of this, you have China, okay, which are. Damn, I put the article in the chat, man. Let me look at the title of it real quick. Okay, you got China harvesting organs or taking out organs of. It says here China is killing religious and ethnic minorities and harvesting their organs, and this was told to the UN Human Rights Council. So man, for especially for you people who are just there in La La Land, okay? You should really sit back and think, damn, what's really going on in the world? Why is all this happening? You know, you look in the news and all you seen is brutalities, killings. The world is really getting dark, huh? Well, guess what? That's prophecy, man. See, a lot of people are gonna start now trying to take the Bible more seriously when these things get worse and worse and worse. Because once it starts to affect them, they're gonna start to question what's going on, why is this happening? And where are the answers? We're giving you the answers. But you see how the Lord has set it up. When it affects you most and you need us most, we ain't gonna be there. So you better get it now. All right. We keep telling you, you better get it now. We know who's causing these things. We know why these things are happening. All right. And Lord willing, we're on the most high's good side. We're gonna be good. Because we know what we have to do, which we've been doing, and we know what's gonna happen. So we don't gotta worry about it. But for those of you who don't know, those of you who don't know the most high, those of you who don't understand what's going on, and you're not seeking him, man, oh. He said 6,107 had been wounded, including more than 1,000 police and security forces, and dozens of buildings had been set ablaze, he added. But he denied the security forces had fired directly at protesters. 2 years after the let me see. Okay. It says 2 years after oil production, Iraq declared the defeat of Islamic State. Security has improved, but corruption is rampant. Wrecked infrastructure has not been rebuilt, and jobs are scarce. The protests, which have hit many parts of the country, do not appear to be organized by a single political group and seem to catch the government by surprise. At an emergency cabinet meeting on Saturday night, the government agreed a 17-point plan to increase subsidized housing for the poor, stipends for the unemployed, and training programs and small loans in initiatives for unemployed youth. It says the families of those killed during demonstrations this week will also receive handouts and care usually granted to members of the security forces killed during war. It said. Uh, Let me see. Okay, it says here clashes overnight. 26 people were killed in clashes on Saturday and Sunday in Baghdad, the police and medical sources said. Now, keep in mind, when these things start happening, it's gonna start overwhelming the hospitals. It's gonna get to the point where, yo, you getting hurt, you think you bringing your family member to the nearest hospital, come to find out you seen a whole line, you seeing patients on the floor, patients in the waiting room, all of that, because there's not enough space, there's not enough materials to take care of everybody. So you thinking, damn, yo, my cousin is bleeding out, please, it's an emergency. They're like, look around you, you see how many people are in here? They're all coming in the same mindset as you. It's an emergency, and we only have a limited amount of staff, you know. So how much longer till the staff get overwhelmed? See, look, man, this place is gonna be affected on all aspects. That's the thing, you know. It's not just or this or that. When something happens, it affects everything else. It's a chain reaction. Okay, and a societal collapse, man, that's the worst thing that's gonna happen to this ball. Well, for a lot of these people, man, because it's gonna lead to a lot more. Um, it says here. Police also fired live rounds during clashes in southern city of Nasiriyah on Saturday, wounding 24 people, including 7 police. According to security, hospital, and morgue sources, one person was killed on Saturday during demonstrations in the southern city of Diwanaya. Protesters also torched the headquarters of several political parties in Nasiriyah, police said. These include the headquarters of the powerful Dawa party that dominated Iraq's government from 2003 until 2018 elections. But yeah, it's just gonna go in on that. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but you get the point. Okay, you got this is what's going on in Iraq. All right, and then you have Ecuador. It says Ecuador has declared a state of emergency. Okay, amid protests again. You see, protests, man. So it says Ecuador's President Lenin Moreno declared a state of emergency on Thursday as massive nationwide protests broke out against the elimination of 4-decade-old subsidies. Interior Minister Maria Romo said 19 people were arrested for blocking roads and other crimes as thousands took to the streets, burning tires and chanting slogans. All right. I don't know if there's more on this article, but let me close this out real quick. Oh, okay. So now saying it's playing with the laptop. Now it wants to move slow. All right, there we go. Um, yeah, I think that's all they have on it for right now. But yeah. So you have in Ecuador as well protests going on to where they're declaring a state of emergency. Is it by coincidence that these things are happening worldwide and out of nowhere? Hong Kong, France, I believe there was some in Greece, Zimbabwe, some South African countries, okay, Iraq, Ecuador, all these places. Well, let me just get to the point real quick, because you know we should know the scripture by now. Second Ezra 9 verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's what we see happening, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, which are prophecies. And we're going to keep bringing out these prophecies because they're happening. All right. Second Ezra 15. You know where I'm going. All right. I'll start at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people. Because what is the sword used for? It's to destroy, to kill. And so when that's like the Lord, Ezekiel, what is that, 21st chapter? A sword being sharpened. So the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, meaning is near. The Lord is preparing it, man. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. You're going to have civil war, which there's talks about civil war if Trump gets impeached. You're going to have race wars, class wars, different levels of wars, okay, global wars. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, sedition, uprisings, uproars, protests, okay? And we see that happening. So you think this was just written? Oh, or some old man got up and just decided to write these words in a book, close it up and say, yep, here you go, here's the Bible. You know, I got bored, so I just wanted to write a few things. You know, I was thinking about a couple of things and I decided to write them down. No, these are prophecies written by men who had the Holy Spirit of the Most High on them. You know, and that's why we see them coming to pass. It says, and one people, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay. Oh, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law. Okay. Blockades. All right. So you have a lot of these things that are going to be taking place, man. Okay. It's going to be taking place, man. And it's very, very rapidly approaching. You see, that's why the scriptures tell you, man, Babylon is like that virgin daughter that hasn't been touched, because over here, everybody thinks it's all good because the Lord hasn't really put hell on this place like that yet. And then the mainstream media isn't telling you about the things that are going on around the world. So America is just blocked out. The Americans are blocked out, isolated in La La Land, thinking that the rest of the world is just like that. When you have things going on, man. So when it hits this place, it's gonna hit it. A lot of people are gonna get hit by surprise. Okay, and it's gonna be bad, man. But hey, this is what you got going on, man. This is prophecy. Okay, so hey, it's only gonna get worse. All right, these protests are gonna get real violent, and these places are gonna, Doug, man. Martial law is about to start being declared in these countries, man, worldwide, and they're about to, and when this place America gets hit, like we keep saying, Jeremiah 30:7, okay, it's not going to be pretty, man. But with that, I hope this was edifying unto the elect, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.